Hello, dear friends. Welcome to this program, our moments with God, our moments with the Word of God, our moments with the love of God, our moments with the mercy of God, our moment with the compassion of God. Everything that we have comes from God, and it is towards God that our hearts long to unite. And I often quote this lovely sentence of St. Augustine, "O God, you have made us for yourself, and our hearts are restless until they rest in thee." I'm sure you too experience this restlessness of your heart to be united with God, and that is what I try to do through these videos of mine. And if you like, you may please share the video with others. Thank you. Today, of course, in the Gospel, we find a very interesting section of the Gospel where Jesus says, "What shall I compare this generation with?" He has mentioned this also other times, but today he uses a very interesting example of how to compare, or with what shall I compare this generation with. And he says they are like children sitting in the marketplace. And we asked them to sing and joy, but they were not interested. Then they were asked to play dirges, that means for somebody's funeral or for death, sad songs, but they were not also prepared for that. So they were neither prepared to sing happy, lucky, joyful songs. Then, because they said they are not interested in that. So somebody suggested, okay, then we will sing sad songs. They said, no, we are not interested in that either. So what shall I compare this generation with? You seem to be not interested in anything at all. And it is not just indifference, because in the book of Revelation, when it is said, when you are lukewarm, neither hot nor cold, then God says he might vomit you out of his mouth. So we need to be active, but active in a positive way. Because what the example Jesus is using is actually trying to say that these people are actually critical, particularly when Jesus uses the next sentence, giving the example of both himself and of John the Baptist. He says, John the Baptist came neither eating nor drinking, he was fasting and praying, and they said, he is possessed with a demon. The Son of Man, that is himself, came eating and drinking with tax collectors and all that, and then they blamed him that he is a drunkard and a friend of the tax collectors, and he's a glutton and a drunkard. So whichever way you go, people are critical because they are not satisfied with themselves. See, this is what happens when we are not connected with God, or our spirits are too much in the worldly things, and the worldly things cannot give us satisfaction. So then we become critical of everything. We think that the worldly things will give us satisfaction. They will make us happy. They don't. And because they don't make us happy, we become critical of situations, we become critical of the governments, we become critical of the church, we become critical of our friends, we become critical of our relatives. Everything is negative. Therefore, Jesus is trying to say, as also in the first reading, as readings all these days from the book of Isaiah, God is trying to provide consolation, goodness. Remember yesterday he invited by telling, "Come to me, all you who labor and are burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am meek and humble of heart." Actually, this humility is that which teaches us to follow the path of God. As the first reading tells us today, if you follow my commandments and keep what I teach you, then you will prosper. Yes, that means we are connected with God. When we are connected with God, naturally we will prosper. And prosper not in a worldly, in a material sense, but we will prosper spiritually. And I think that is what ultimately the aim of our spiritual life particularly is, to prosper, to blossom in a spiritual way. Let our souls bloom and blossom, give lovely fragrance coming out of our behavior, coming out of our relationship with God. And if you like, you may please subscribe to this channel. Thank you.